What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke. Now, we are with a very special guest, actress, director. She's currently the lead in the play American Son. Yeah. Without further ado, Miss Bianca LaVerne Jones.
Yes.
Bianca, how are you doing first off?
Wonderful. Thank you.
And we appreciate you taking some time out in between shows to, hop on the podcast with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I guess first off, to start out, tell us a little bit, what got you into acting?
Oh, wow. My father is a big inspiration for me.
Okay.
So I grew up in the theater. My father's an actor, producer, director, and he was directing this play called Long Time Since Yesterday by P.J. Gibson.
Okay.
And I was either 10 or 11 years old, I think 11. And he asked me to, do I want to be in the play? Because I would always be at all of his rehearsals and everything. And so it just kind of worked out.
I like that, man. So identified your passion early on. And the fact that, your father was the one, starting all that up. So I definitely think that's dope.
Thank you.
And I have a question about the career path of acting. It's kind of unconventional, right? Like in terms of it's different than you go to college and you get the office job, the 9 to 5, the safe job, correct? Has there been a point where there was a crossroads or maybe you thought about giving up and going that more conventional route?
No, actually. It's so interesting because although being an artist is not easy, I never thought about, I think of being an actor as being conventional because everybody I know is in the arts.
Okay.
So it never seemed like, this is not possible.
And that was your path from the start.
Yeah, it just always seemed possible. But I can't lie, there have been a few moments where I've been like, what in the hell? Why didn't my dad tell me that this is dumb? Like, I'm not making enough money. Oh my God.
What was one of those moments?
I don't know. They've been so kind of random throughout. It's like, I barely had my rent or something like that, which means like if you barely got rent, you barely got, the Metro card money because I live in New York, I live in Harlem. So it's like if you don't have the rent money, then you don't have Metro card money, and then food is an issue and all of this. And it's like, this is crazy. But what it's done is just made me a more spiritual person. I've gotten deeper into my spirituality because of it.
Oh, okay.
You're like, no money? God help me.
Please.
Please, God help me.
Send a sign. Whatever it is, send it.
Yes, exactly.
So now we always hear the different type of actresses and actors, whether they're method, character, whatever it may be. So just talk about, for you, what style of actress are you and how did you find that in yourself?
So my training is from North Carolina School of the Arts when I was in high school. And then I went to SUNY Purchase Acting Conservatory for college. Yeah. And while I was there at these different institutions, I learned a myriad of methods. Okay. So from Stanislavski to Bolovslavski to Meisner. And so, gosh, I would have to break all that down for you, right? To like tell you what the methods are. Yeah. So anyway, I use a little bit of each. I use, but if I'm speaking specifically about how do I get together for this character, I'm using music therapy for myself to start it up. I am putting myself in substitution mode, which means I don't have any children, but I'm substituting Antwaan Rose, who I looked into. I was looking for a biracial looking boy and found this child, Antwaan Rose, which took me on a deep, deep path of, oh my God, this is the story I'm actually telling, which is deeper. And if you ask me more, I'll tell you more.
Get into that.
We'll get into that. Right. Very important young man. But so I'm using substitution. I'm using music therapy. I am using what ifs and as ifs. So that's kind of self-explanatory. Like, what if this actually happened to me? Right. I'm talking to the person that I'm working with as if he's my husband. And gosh, definitely a lot of emotional work. Now,
that's deep. I was going to say, from an emotional standpoint, just talk about the toll that could potentially have on you when you put that stress, because, I mean, like I said, we're going to get into this play a lot more in terms of American Son, but when you emotionally put yourself in this situation, the stress of, I don't know where my son is, the stress of me and my husband are having issues right now, just talk about, like, what does that do to you?
Really breaks you down. Really, speaking with Antwaan Rose's mother, her name is Michelle Kinney.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking with Miss Michelle, she and I are having a lot of the same experience. I'm having to relive it every single day for 2 months straight, but she has to live it for the rest of her life, unfortunately. And it is depressing. It's, I can't get out of bed in the morning. I'm extremely irritable, and it's very hard to talk to family. My relationship with my partner suffers, I can't find the will to go work out, whereas like before I got here, when I was in New York, I had a trainer, I was going, I was there every 3 days a week and then going and doing stuff on my own. And, when your son is taken away from you, you don't want to do anything. You want people around you to understand how deep it is, and everybody doesn't get it, And when I was telling Michelle, it's like, I wasn't sure if the other cast members were suffering as much as I did or had to take on the weight. She said, Bianca, I'm going to tell you this right now. They're not going to get it, boo-boo. Wow. They're not going to get it, Ma. And I was like, oh, my God. It's been really impactful on my life. So to get out of it, I am using Tibetan singing bowls. Okay. Which is music that aligns your chakras. I'm using massage therapy. Okay. I am using...
gotta get the massages in
Gotta get those massages in.
Yes, indeed.
Because it works out the stress out, because I'm holding a lot of stress in the back of my head and in my shoulders and then in the small of my back, right? And my glutes as well. So I'm able to work those out and stretch. Yeah. There's this yoga practice that I like to look at, Sarah Beth Yoga. So I'm doing that and talking with my best friend a lot. And thank God she just happens to be a self-therapy guru in her own right. So she sends me products like, reach back over here. This is her product from the Calm Corner, lavender mint mist. Okay. So, I spray that on my face before I go out. I'm using aromatherapy and finding different oils to really soothe me and calm me. So at night, it's a lot of lavender baths. And sorry, I could go.
No, that's huge, because I think it's important for people to understand that, because we always hear about how a person gets into character, right? And when you're playing in some of these roles like this, I mean, everybody knows the famous with Heath Ledger, how, he get into that role of being the Joker and just how he couldn't get away from it. Yeah. And we love the performance. We're like, oh, this is one of the best performances we've ever seen. Right. But you never think of the other side of how does that person get out of that and mentally stay in a good place. So I'm glad you're sharing that.
Some people medicate, and I knew for one thing, I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I knew that I couldn't turn to, because alcohol is a depressant, in fact. So like you get up and you're feeling like, yeah, buddy, good. But then, boom, it'll drop you off, further into the reason why you started drinking in the first place. It'll take you deeper into an abyss. And medicating anyway, whether you're popping pills, whether you're drinking, whether you're smoking weed, or any myriad of like doing K, meth, Molly, whatever it is, it's like it's going to take you into a deeper, worse place. So that's why I'm trying to do all of the better, happier things. And maybe, a month out of this, maybe I'll, continue to drink, or not continue to drink.
But I got what you're saying. Go back to like your normal social life. You're good.
But I just live my like regular social life. Exactly.
Well, shoot, that's how I always felt when I played ball. It was like, oh yeah, I don't drink during season, but when I'm done, I can't wait to crack one open.
Yeah, exactly.
Just unwinding. You know what I mean?
It's just unwinding. Right. Exactly. So thank you for
absolutely.
Now I'm curious. We're both musicians, me and Arthur. How does the music therapy impact, I guess, your acting prep? Like, what do you do in terms of music? Like, do you listen to stuff and it gets you into that mindset?
So the Tibetan bowls are like, so it's not like baby. You know, like, oh, baby. Like, it's not that. But, so the Tibetan bows is just to bring my energy level down and get my chakras aligned.
What are you doing while that's playing?
Putting on my makeup and doing my hair. Or I typically have a towel laid out in here. I'll lay on my towel and make my voice match those sounds, and I'll go through my warm-up. Because, I mean, y'all saw the show. Is verbally, I have to use all of my articulators, my tongue, my teeth, my everything, you know, my lips. So in order to get those words out of my mouth at the shotgun range, I'm able to get them at. And to be able to speak to it without a microphone, a house that big, I've got a...
You projecting,
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Right. So I'm having to hum and get my voice warmed up and hum in like my resonator, my nose, my head, the top of my head, so that when I'm speaking, everybody in the audience can hear me. But then also, something the director was trying to help us figure out some music that bonded myself and the gentleman who played my husband, David Whalen. And he came up, he was like, you know, I feel like, you know, there was some Anita Baker between y'all. And there was some Earth, Wind, and Fire between y'all. And I was like, right. And so he bust out with the Anita Baker and the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, do you remember? You know, we were like, oh, in September. You know, so we started getting our groove on in the rehearsal room.
That's awesome.
And so it was cool because it was like, okay, so before a show, if I want to connect with David and I can't literally go over and be like, David, let's talk about our relationship. You know, I just start playing a little Anita Baker.
That's interesting.
You know, I play a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. I set the mood, you know, because then that sense memory comes right back when I have to be in love with him.
Right.
You know, the music is in my spirit when I see him and we go there. You know what I mean? Because you saw the show as well. Yeah. So just like when I see him and I'm like, oh, okay, do you remember? You know?
Well, and
body
I was going to ask too, like, how difficult is that sometimes though? Like, in terms of, okay, now that the camera's on, I have to be in love with this person. Versus when we're out regular, I have my person that I'm dealing with, you every person that you're dealing with, we're just kind of going our separate ways. Like, how hard is that for you?
Well, it's not easy, but you do look at this person, you say, well, I was matched up with this person for a reason. This person is handsome.
Okay.
Right? And I have to believe that no matter whether, you know, David doesn't look like a dog. David is a handsome guy. But, you know, I got to say, okay, if this were my man, what do I find appealing about him?
Got you.
David has great hair. Okay. David has a nice body.
Okay.
You know, David has
Shout out to David.
Shout out to David. But I'm saying I have to look at this man and say, this is my man.
Okay.
This is my husband.
Right.
And my actual man don't look anything like David. You know? So I have to look at him, and from an actor standpoint, you have to say, what is beautiful? What is beautiful? What is lovely about this human being that's standing in front of me? And how can I use that to accentuate the things that I have to say to him?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I know as an audience, if you don't say it with conviction and meaning, we're going to see it and be like,
exactly.
She ain't really feeling him. But I know for me personally, it was one time, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but y'all two having y'all dynamic, and I'm like, yo, they really look like they feeling each other right here.
Yeah. So there's a couple moments like
I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, I feel like David had to look at me and I looked nothing like his wife. You know what I mean? And he had to look at me and say, okay, what do I find appealing about Bianca?
Okay.
Who knows? I have no idea what he's thinking in his mind, but he's made it work out in some way that he's like, oh, her kneecaps. Oh, her elbows are so beautiful. You know what I mean? Her forehead is just the most beautiful forehead I've ever seen. Whatever it is, you know? And so he uses that and is able to become more and more familiar with my body and be more and more familiar and more comfortable around me and my spirit, the way he moves around me and the way I move around him, you know?
Okay, I like that. Now, that kind of transitions into what I want to talk about too, in terms of how do you decide on which role you want to audition for and things like that? I mean, because I'm sure that all those factors play into it when you get a script for a play or for something on film.
Yeah, you read it, you see if it jazzes with your spirit. this might be one of the first plays I ever knew about and read and said to myself, okay, I could do this, I'll go out for this, I'll do it. And I go out for it, and immediately, like, that afternoon, they're like, you got the job. Wow. And I was like,
okay.
All right. Now that I've got the job, do I actually want to do this? Wait a minute. And then I read the play, and I was like, how in the whole hell am I going to get down into this character? I have no idea. And I was procrastinating, and I waited, but how do you choose? So anyway, I get here, and I say, okay, I got to go there. And it took me some time to go there because I don't have kids and it's not my experience. Like I said, I'm using substitution. Right. Like, I look at you and I was telling you that you reminded me of my brother, you know what I mean? My little brother. And so like my little brother, I remember, who's your same age, I remember taking him with me everywhere I went. Wow. I remember him being like my sidekick, my son, my child, and he's my everything. He's my only brother. I got that one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Antwaan / Jamal is my only child. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so when I looking at you or looking at the wall, doesn't matter. I can see my brother. I can see Yannick. Right here in front of my face. Wow. Because I've looked at him so much from the time he was born. Yeah. He was like always wanting to make me laugh and all that. So I can take that and substitute that experience with him and replace it with Jamal.
I like that.
But yeah, it's not easy to try to choose these roles, but I'm glad this one chose me more so.
Okay.
I think because I didn't really get it, but I think that it needed me.
Yeah.
I know that sounds strange and esoteric.
No, but I like it though because like seeing you perform it, you bring it to life.
Thank you.
Like I feel like if the person wasn't as strong of a character as you are, I don't think it would work out the same. Like it takes like a strong presence to be up there where you are predominantly the main person for 5% of the whole play. So it's like I feel like you definitely were the right person for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, just to follow up on that real quick, how does the process work finding roles? Like, is it more of them, people are seeking you out? Is there like just a general, I don't know, like a bulletin board online where it's sent out to people? And
no, so, great. You don't know anything about this.
I have no clue. That's what I mean. I'm like actually interested. I have no clue.
There are agents and managers out there, but what happens is, like Mariah Kaminsky, who's the artistic director here, she decides what her season is going to be. So at some point last year, she said, we're doing American Son. Okay, great. We know that. So then she reaches out to a casting director in New York. So, the casting director in New York is like, okay, what are the characters in this play? There's a white man, a black woman, a black man, and a young white man. Yeah. Right. So then under each one of those descriptions, you list the characteristics of that person. You say African-American female, you say white male 20s or black female 40s or 30s, whatever it is, right? And then you say, like for my character, it might be loving mother, lost her son, PhD in psychology, blah, blah, blah. And you name things that the author names and the playwright names about the character. And then that list, that character description goes out, boom, onto this site called Breakdown Services.
Okay.
The agents see that and they say, well, I've got a black female on my team and let me submit her for this role to the casting director. So then the casting director says, oh, I know Bianca. She's an actor that I've been knowing for a while. And so then they call me in and then I go into the audition and the director and the artistic director from this play, so Justin Emeka and then Mariska, I put her first and her last name together, Mariah Kaminsky, are at Pat McCorkle's casting office. Wow. I come in, we all have decided to meet on the same day at the same time. And they're seeing other black women as well. They audition me. And then they say whether they, and then they say, oh, we'd like to see more. Or you got a call back for tomorrow or the day after. And I say, okay. And then they say, yes, you got the role. or no, you don't hear anything. You don't get the role.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't get it, you don't hear. But if you get it, you hear.
Well, I was gonna say as a follow up to that too. Have there been any roles that you felt like, man, I'm the right person for this? I auditioned for it, and then you just didn't get it, or you never heard back?
Oh yeah.
And then I guess the flip side is you see the person that does get it, and you're like, man, I could have been better than that.
Oh yeah. Everybody does that. I mean, and I'm sure you can relate. Football,
Absolutely.
like
Listen,
they chose who?
we talk about this all the
He
time.
does not have my stats.
He got drafted over me. How long did he play? All right.
Yeah,
I got him.
yeah, exactly.
Without a doubt.
So you definitely have some of that competitive stupidness, right? Because what do you know inherently, though, that the only person you're in competition with
It's
is
yourself.
Period.
Absolutely.
Right? So I can look at such and such and say, they chose her?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
But what difference does that make?
Right.
Because that's her journey. That's what God had for her.
Absolutely.
And what God has for me, and I'm blessed.
Absolutely.
You know? And so, have I looked at other women and said, I could have done that, you know? Yes. But you know who does all that for me? My mom. My mom and dad are my biggest advocates, and they definitely say, now, you know, you could have been such and such and so and so. Now, they know they wrong for that. They should have chose you for... Because my parents, of course, are my biggest advocates. So all I have to do is be in competition for myself, because my parents are going to make the comparisons and
Without a
say,
doubt.
Please, you know, for me.
Without
So,
a doubt. I like
yeah.
that. So let's talk about American Son. And what was so appealing about this role for you in particular?
Not that this role was like an appealing place to be in. I
was gonna say, give people like a background too about American Son without going into too much detail.
It's a mother in a police station looking for her son, and she is running into people who don't understand where she's coming from, and those people are people that are very close to her, a person that's very close to her husband, and the young police officer in the police department, you know, in the office where we are. They don't get where she's coming from. What more to tell you about American Son? And so she finds out where her son is.
Right.
She finds out where her son is. But on the way, I think American Son is really about the relationship and the uncovering of this interracial marriage between Kendra and Scott. Yeah. And you find out more about what people are thinking right now in 2020, in the 21st century, and what's the relationship between white and black, what it means for their interracial son. You know?
And the thing that I like too about that was the main part, but then I also even saw from the father's perspective, just the disconnect. I mean, you hear, and like I said, we're not going to give out spoilers and everything like that, but it's a part where he's having a conversation with you, and his perspective of him and his son's relationship is drastically different from your perspective, who's with him every day. So I thought that was interesting as well, in terms of just the layers that were involved in this particular story.
It's extremely layered. What you find is a mother, like my mother did. I don't know about your mother or your father, but you find that as you get older, the person, I'll speak for myself, my mother was the person who helped my father understand better about like my period, me like getting breasts, me wanting to go to a party. I mean, and you have kids, I don't know if you have children yet, but like you're going to be like, okay, what does that mean she wants to go to the party? What does that mean she wants to go on a date with this boy? The boy need to come to the house.
No question.
You're right. Now you know. Now you say, So you like, okay, well, where they going?
Right.
Well, she needs some money. You know, how much money should she have? You know, and so it's all these things that my mom helped my dad see as I was getting older. He knew like provide, protect. You know, love, profess. Right. But he didn't know how to be the intricate that my mother was for
and the
me.
Nurturing element of it as well.
And I think that the same thing happens with mothers and their sons too. So you find that like this mother, Kendra, is trying to hip the father to what her black son is going through. yes, he's half you, but he's half me.
Right.
And being half me means a lot because
Yes.
being black is something else.
Absolutely.
You know, and so like, what does that look like to be a black man and have to go out into the world where people could be using you as target practice?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I was going to say too, man, just some of the stuff that comes up, even when you're speaking on, hey, have you ever had to tell your son to do this if he's approached by a police officer?
Yeah.
And for me, it's hitting home because I'm like, I actually remember having these conversations.
Yeah.
And it's real.
Yeah.
But if you're not from that culture, if you're not an African-American man, a lot of times you don't really understand the depth of that. And I thought that was pretty cool to have that out there. So that way, everybody in the audience could get a glimpse of that, because if it's not talked about, then how's anybody ever going to know about these conversations?
And I hope they don't just think it's a play. I mean,
right.
And that was the thing, like doing rehearsals for this, I'm like, hey guys, I don't know if you know, but that's real.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So my director's a black man who's half white, half black. Yeah. But it was interesting because he understands, you know what I mean, what this struggle is, what that thing is. But yeah, I remember having these conversations with my brother. I remember my parents sitting us down and having this conversation with us. I remember my brother being young, 16, 17, being funny, ha ha ha, because he's a hilarious guy. I was like, dude, hey, look, everything is not a joke.
Right.
You know? If you get stopped, that's not a joke. You know, make sure that you don't make a stupid, funny comment thinking that your personality is going to be bigger than the severity of this man pulling out a gun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I could touch on that too a little bit. Just with me and Arthur, we've been on the road a little bit, and we've had conversations, and he'll bring up like this perspective, and I'm just like, damn, yeah, I have no clue, and then it just gets me thinking, and that's pretty cool, like what you're saying about this being a play, or even, you know, how the movie's on Netflix, like there's this art element to it. But at the same time, I'm hearing and having these conversations with Arthur, and I'm hearing like this different perspective. Like this is the shit that's actually going on. And it brings like a new light to it. So I guess I had that perspective coming in, seeing it, where it even hit home a little bit more, where it's like, damn, like this stuff isn't a joke, but then there is all these like human elements and things to it. So I just wanted to, I guess, follow up with what he was saying and touch on that for me.
I mean, that's interesting, y'all rolling together, and you have like this Steelers celebrity, right? And then I don't know you very well, but were you a Steeler as well?
No.
Okay,
just a fan. Fan.
So you got a civilian, if you will, with a celebrity, if you will, and what does that look like? So, like, are you black or are you celebrity?
Right. And it's then having to have those conversations with him and show him the difference of he's seeing firsthand if somebody knows who I am versus if they don't know who I am, and just the dynamic and how different that is.
Yeah. And so Scott in the play, another something about American Son, the father is an FBI agent.
Right.
But we down here at the police station for our black son, you know? So what is he?
Right.
Is he the FBI's son? Who can get out of something easily?
And we see a little bit of the celebrity element of that when he first comes onto the scene.
Correct. Yeah. Because the younger officers are, oh, I always wanted to be in the FBI. Ooh, cool. Super cool. Yeah. Like, no, fool. No, fool.
This is serious.
This is serious. It's a heart attack.
Absolutely.
You know?
Now, you dedicated your performance to Michelle, who is the mother of Antwaan Rose.
Correct.
So just talk about the significance of that, and how do you carry that with you every night when you come out here to perform?
I mean, I can only be the honorable black woman that I am, right? And lift her up as the honorable black woman that she is. In so much that we are sharing this tragic loss, but not only Michelle, but all the black women in Pittsburgh, all the black women right outside of Pittsburgh, let's expand it to Pennsylvania. Yeah. Okay, all the black women that I know or have heard of or read about that are sisters, mothers, aunties, etc., that extend all the way out to the entire United States of America, who have lost their partner, their son, their father, their man, their family member, their cousin, their brother. So I represent Michelle because I happen to find her son, but I also am just coming to be as truthful and honest as possible. Yeah.
I like that, man. Now, in terms of when the people come in to see this, what do you want them to take away from your performance in particular?
Listen to Black women.
Definitely don't say y'all are crazy. I saw that firsthand. Don't you say that.
Right. Don't go there. But listen to Black women. You know, like, Black women are really smart. We may be some of the most disrespected, as Malcolm X said, you know, disrespected people on the planet. But we're some of the smartest and most educated and well-rounded people you've ever met and seen in your life. You know, we come in all different shapes and sizes, and we have a powerful voice that needs to be heard. And we're not crazy when we're being assertive. There's nothing wrong with us looking anybody in the eye and telling them what we think or feel, you know? And that's what I would take away. Don't look at Black women like they're crazy. Do lift us up. Do respect our families. Whether we have white husbands or Black husbands or Asian husbands or whatever, just give respect, give mutual love. It would be really amazing if people could just show some agape love, you know?
Okay.
Some God love.
Definitely respect that.
Yeah.
No, well, I like what you said about just listen, though. Yeah. Because everyone's so quick to give their opinion. And it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Like, there's just people that don't know, that don't have certain perspectives. So the only thing you can do is listen. And I don't get what's wrong with, man, all right, I'm listening to this and I don't know, but I want to listen to this and have some empathy and just try to get your perspective. That's all, as opposed to someone trying to give their opinion. Why not just listen? I really just like that aspect of what you shared about there. Yeah.
Listen, and then even further, like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, even better. Yes.
Yeah, because
listen,
people,
then have the convo.
Yeah, because some people they'll listen to you and just be like, "Great, I let you waste 2 minutes of my time, and now I'm gonna go back to doing what I was doing.
Right.
If you will, please shut the hell up." You know, and it's like, whoa. You know, you were listening. We need our liberal white brothers and sisters to listen so they know how to be supportive. You know what I mean? It's very, very important that white people who have power and privilege are not just saying, this is what you need, and then prescribing what you need, and then saying, okay, go take what I'm giving you. But I just gave you all this stuff. Right. And it's like, that's not what I needed or wanted.
You're not listening. You're right.
You're not listening.
Right.
You're right. So, like effective listening,
right?
You know, is going to be really important as we all move forward in the future, especially where we are right now in America.
No doubt.
And now, for the people that might be on the fence in terms of coming to see the play, right? Why would you tell them it's important that they see American Son?
You know, people are wondering where to jump off and have a conversation with other people, like we were just saying. And I think if you want to be, not if you want to be an activist, but if you want to be activated and be able to have a conversation and find a place to start, come see this play. It's a mirror of what's going on out there in the world. You know, it's a microcosm, but it's a mirror. And I think that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can say, oh, I see that I have on a gray sweater with a pink shirt, and my hair has highlights and lowlights, and I've got brown eyes. And you can say, okay, what does that mean to have that? And, you know, and just really be honest. Say what you see.
I like that.
And how does it affect you, you know?
Absolutely. I like that. Now, also, at the end of your performances, I believe it's April 5th is the last day, y'all going to be doing a monologue. So, yeah, definitely talk about that as well.
So there are mothers who have lost their sons, sons and daughters, in Pittsburgh, I do believe. And they're going to talk about the moment they found out that they lost their child. It's really impactful because it's not just Michelle Kinney and Antwaan Rose. There's Tina Ford and gosh, more and more mothers. Yeah. When I talked to Michelle the other day, literally 2 days ago, she just said, "Oh yeah, I was at a vigil last night for another young man who's been taken by police violence." And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." She said, "Oh yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm coming from just last night." And I'm like, wow. So these mothers are coming and talking about their experience because unfortunately, I don't know how horrible a thing this is to say. You don't know whether you might be joining these mothers. Yeah. So it's very important to support them to change the laws and see what we can do.
Well, I was gonna say that's the sad reality of it. Yeah. Because it could be anybody that can join this conversation, unfortunately. And it's almost to the point now where it happens in the moment, you know, in the recent moment, whether it's that week, everyone's concerned. But then after that, it's almost like they become numb to it because it's another situation happening. So I think it's important that with this play, with that monologue, and even with this platform here, with this podcast, that we shine a light on that type of stuff because if it's not being talked about, how's it ever going to be changed? Right. And I think it's important that we all do our part in terms of being activated. And I think that's what we're trying to do today.
Yeah, it's igniting a flame for sure. Yeah. And I think that something that I learned, because I was like, where is the hope in this play? Yeah. You know, something I was thinking about just in closing. When I was thinking, how can I tell you or you to come and see this? Like, what am I saying? I think a good takeaway about this play is that we're all able to grieve together when we support one another.
Absolutely.
You know, we're all able to grieve together when we support one another. And I think that's like paramount.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like it. Do you have anything else, man?
No, I think, well, actually, real quick.
I know you have. I know. Come on, Deke never has nothing at the end.
Is this your first time in Pittsburgh?
No.
Okay, so just what do you think of the city in general? Is there anything that you find the coolest thing to do? Just anything quirky that you found in Pittsburgh here?
Okay. I found so a few silly things. Yeah. I don't even know what order. So this is in no particular order.
All right, here we go. Okay.
One, Prantles.
What?
You know Prantles?
No.
Prantles? It's over here. It's like right by Market Square.
Okay.
They are a bakery.
Yeah.
They have the best gluten-free brownie.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Okay. What?
That sounds healthy, too.
That gluten-free brownie is banging. Okay, so that's one.
All right. I like this.
Yeah. Two, the river, where the Three Rivers
Three Rivers, yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a nice walk. I really enjoy that. I can't wait to go to the Andy Warhol Museum. But like walking around here is like super nice.
That's like classic Pittsburgh too, the Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I can't wait. Nice. I can't wait to get over there. And then I found y'all got some good popcorn, Pittsburgh popcorn.
You think?
Right. You don't like it?
I just like the movie theater stuff,
Wow. My daughter would be ashamed to know you right
Pittsburgh
now.
popcorn. I don't even know if I've had it.
The Mesquite barbecue is on bang.
Come on, man. I've had it.
The Mesquite barbecue.
Come on, Deke.
Man, that
I've never had it.
Oh my God. We'll walk over or something.
Gotta get them out more, man.
It's super good. And right beside there is a amazing cobbler, a shoe cobbler. I took some boot. I couldn't bring all of my 150 pairs of shoes here so that I could just wear whatever I wanted to wear every single day. You know, as a performer, we're like, right. I'm in 2 suitcases and I only packed maybe 3 or 4 pairs of shoes. And so, but they were all boots because when I got here, it was really cold. Yeah. And so I walked the hell out the boots that I had. And I was like, God, I got to get these resold. It's crazy. And I took it to a cobbler, and it's the best job anybody's ever done on a pair of boots of mine.
Shout out to the Pittsburgh cobbler then.
Yeah, shout out to the Pittsburgh cobbler. Like Ulrich. And they're right beside the Pittsburgh popcorn.
Boom.
Boom. So anybody who hears this, if you are over by Market Square, and you know, so that's my stomping grounds. Prantles, the popcorn.
and the shoe
cobbler.
There we go.
Yes.
I like it. Well, no, man, this was a blast. This was a fun interview, and appreciate you again, Bianca.
Thank you.
I know you're gonna kill the rest of these shows. And anybody that hasn't come out here, I definitely encourage you. Me and Deke saw it firsthand last night. It was awesome. So we strongly encourage you to come check it out as well. So
please come check it out. Be supportive.
So you heard it right here, man. And until next time, peace.
Peace. Thank you.